Hello, Andre. How
Hello.
are
How are
you?
you? I'm
Fine,
all right.
thanks. How
Yourself?
are you?
Trying to get a spot where you can
Yes.
see me. How's
Yeah,
that? Can you see me
I
there?
can see you.
Okay, that's perfect.
You also do
Perfect.
see me and hear me?
I can hear you perfectly.
Okay,
Let me.
good. We
Yeah, I'm
are
just
good
going to relax.
to go. We promised people this chat. Let's start with it.
Go for it.
Let's start
Go for
with
it.
you. Let's start with you,
No,
Andre. Who is
let's
Andre
start with.
Snyman?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm an old
You don't know.
man.
You should know. We've
I'm
got
an.
no one to ask except for you.
All right. I'm an old man. It's my birthday next week. I'm turning
Huh?
69 years old.
When?
I'm a Madala.
Today?
On the 30th. The 30th. It's what's it, 5 days time. Then I'm a
Really?
Madala. I'm old. Finished.
Wow.
Yeah.
Happy birthday in advance.
Yeah.
No,
Anyway,
you are not a
I got.
Madala.
Yeah. So my name is Andre Snyman.
Mm-hmm.
I was born in Umlo, and then I came
Mm-hmm.
to Johannesburg. And when I got to Johannesburg 30 years ago, I saw that there was a problem with the people. There weren't any community groups. Like in a
Okay.
small town, you have everybody knows each other. So in a small town,
Yes.
we used to have in the old days, we used to have a telephone and we used to phone, you
Mm.
answer it, and it used to go through to the range. Then they say, I believe, and you give them a number, plug it in. When you plugged in, they put you through. And you go to a party line. You remember those on the farm? We used to have
Yes.
5 or 6 people on one line. You
Yes.
remember that? I don't
Yeah.
know if you're
Hey.
in the old days.
Yes.
Maybe you're too young. And then, so
No,
that was the
I
first,
remember that when I was very little. That
yeah,
was what was happening still.
exactly. That's how the
Mm.
farm used to call a farm line. So that
Yes.
is the first WhatsApp group because when you phone one person, all the other people on the farms wanted to hear your story, so they used to listen into your story. So that could, so that was the
So
first.
they could hear.
That
Mm.
was a WhatsApp group. That was a WhatsApp. What's happening? WhatsApp. And so when I came to Johannesburg, um,
Yes.
in about 2001, I got there before that, but about 2001, the crime was getting bad in Bryanston. So I
Okay.
got this thing on the internet that just started. There wasn't Google, there wasn't WhatsApps, there weren't smartphones, but
Mm-hmm.
we all had the one big phone, the big phone we used to hold. Anyway,
Yes.
so I created this website called eBlockwatch because in those days we drove around in a car,
Mm-hmm.
which were for doing block watches. So I said, this is an
Yes.
electronic block watch. So we're putting an E in front of it. So that's why I call my project eBlockwatch. So you didn't
Okay.
have to drive around in the car. You used to just send messages. So that was
Yes.
a block watch. So it started off just 2 people, myself and my wife. That was all. And
Yes.
today I have 100,000 people on my website. And on
Wow.
my Facebook page, I have another 100,000.
Yes.
On the one page, I have
Yes.
40,000 other. And sometimes I get up to 18. Well, last month I got 18 million views in 28 days
Wow.
on this page. So it's big
Yo.
time. And
No, that is great work.
what I do is all the people feed me information.
Yes.
So I'm like the agony aunt of crime. The people who phone, they say, I got a problem. So what's your problem? So hold on, I
Yes.
know someone can fix it. I got that problem. I've been scammed
So
here. I know who can. So that's what I do. I collectively put the information together and then I put it out to the right person. So that's
okay.
what eBlockwatch is.
Oh.
Internal and external information.
So the
Yeah.
right people would be the police if needed and so on. Okay.
No, no, no. The right people, maybe not the police. So
Oh.
what I do is I work with a lot of security companies. I work with a lot of neighborhood watch.
Oh.
And if I go directly to the police, the person who sits in the front there and writes the book in the charge office, he doesn't know who I am. He doesn't know
Yes.
anything. So through 20 years of relationships, I've built friends with the right people in the police.
Mm.
Both, the right people in the security companies, the right
Mm-hmm.
people in the community
Mm.
forums and the community WhatsApp groups. So I've got this network all over South Africa. So let's say I'm sitting here, because right now I'm here near the Kruger National Park, okay,
Yes.
near Hoedspruit.
Mm.
So if I have a problem here,
Mm.
what I do is I'll go to my database
Mm.
and I'll look who's registered on my website, and I say, the
Okay.
people that come from Hoedspruit, I
Oh.
zoom in and I send them a message in Hoedspruit.
Oh.
So people that are here in Hoedspruit that are registered on my block watch, I
Yes.
send them a message and say, I'm in trouble.
Okay.
So right here, I have a lady that flies helicopters. She does game tracking.
Yes.
I've got a lady, she is in contact with all the other police, and she's got friends and security. So I borrow her security in this area.
Oh.
So if I go to Petersburg or Cape Town or wherever, I just borrow the people's network
that are
where they are.
available there.
That are available. So, you have a network. So if you get into trouble, I'm sure you got a little WhatsApp group with the people around your house and whatever.
Yes,
But if you're a member of mine, I then plug you in. I will then ask you to help me if I'm in your area.
Okay.
And then you will get your friends, because everybody will know you. That's how they'll help you.
Okay.
If I had to ask them for help, they say, no, forget it. They're not interested. But because you know them and I know you, they can help me because I know you.
Of
So
course.
that's how
It's a network.
It's a massive net.
Yes.
Massive. And so that's why I started Facebook. So also another interesting group of people that I have is I have a lot of journalists. Okay. So I've been working now for 23 years with journalists.
Yes.
So when I phone a journalist, they know I've got my number, they got my number. So when I phone them, they go straight in. They always like me phoning because I'm going to give them a story.
Yes.
Because all the people give me information, and then I see this is a good story or that's not a good story. Then I tell a journalist, and then I connect the journalist to the people that got the story.
Okay.
So I get right down to the root. So we do investigative work through the journalists.
Okay.
And the journalists are very good at it.
Wow.
So, and they like the story because they want to write stories in the newspaper. So they've got a whole lot of, they've got a whole team of people who actually do investigations.
Okay.
And then, so that I use them, and I use the security companies, and I use my network of police, and it's just networks and networks. So that's why I'm always first to know when something happens.
Okay.
I'm like the auntie
on.
I'm like the auntie on the stoop who's sitting drinking coffee, and everybody's telling me a story. I
Good.
say, okay, that's one I heard. So I'm a gossiper.
Thank you so much for telling us about yourself. You're doing a great job. Now this brings us to the gist of things, the main character that we are here about, Thabo Bester. TK.
Naughty
Yes.
boy. Naughty.
Also known as TK. I know that's the name TK is not fresh, ne? It's not a name that he just used now when he came back from prison. So what's your history with this name TK and Thabo Bester?
Okay, so what do you know about TK? Why do you say it's not fresh?
I know that because when I research, I find that he used to call himself TK even when he was younger. There are childhood friends that know him by the name TK at the time. He used to call himself.
Why does it? He always calls himself TK, and the initials are always. And then he calls himself Tom Kelly.
Yes.
Then he calls himself Thabo.
Yes. Katleho again. Yes. So he plays around those two names, T and K.
TK is all the time. Yes. But you don't know. At one stage, he had a profile picture that said Tom Kelly. And another time, thing that said Thabo Best. I don't know. He leaves the Best out.
Yes.
So he doesn't call himself Best. So he's a Thabo Katleho.
Yes.
It was TK, and throughout his life, TK comes up all the time. So it's very interesting.
Yes.
So let me just start. I think if you take a pen, if you've got a pen and pencil in front of you, or the paper.
No, I don't.
Okay.
All right. You want me to write something?
Yeah. So write 2006. We create a timeline.
Okay. Let me check. I've got my electronic notebook here. Okay, we start in 2006.
and then about 2010, somewhere around there, 2010, 2011, and then you can
2010,
go to, yeah, and then you can go to,
2011.
yeah, and then okay, the next line is 20 November 20.
Ooh, your Wi-Fi
Can you hear
connection,
me?
I don't know, or it's on my side. I don't see you clearly anymore.
I can see you. I can see you.
You see me clearly. You
Clear.
are Larry, and the sound is, we are losing the sound as well.
I'm clear on my side. I can see you and I can see myself.
Oh,
I'm there.
I don't know. People who are online, please tell us.
I can see
I
you.
need to know if I'm the one that's having the network connection problem, so that maybe I can move from where I am.
Is anybody watching there? Just say yes. You can hear? I can hear you.
You hear me
I hear you clearly
and
I
you
can
see
see
me.
you beautifully.
So you were saying the last time I checked, we were talking about 2011.
Okay, then you go to 2021 November.
Oh, 2021 November, November, ne?
Yeah, and then you can go to January 2022.
Okay.
And then you can go
January 2022.
And then you can go through to May, 1st of May. It was nearly now. Let's say 1st of May 2023. So no, January 2021 November, and then 2022 is yeah. So then we're going to yeah, January 2022, and then we go through to May 2022, and
May
then there's a long
2022.
little gap, and then there's a long gap, and then you can go to January 2023. That's this year.
January 2023.
And then we can go from there. We can talk about that. So that's the timeline that I. So let's
Oh,
talk
that
about
you
the
have.
first one.
Okay, fine. Let's start with 2006.
2006. How old is Tabu now? He must be 30.
He must be 20 because according to the birth register, which Mr. Mutwaledi, Dr. Mutwaledi has given, they did check that he was born at Baragwanath on the 13th of June 1986. So that is the real birth date that is registered at Baragwanath Hospital by his mom, if that mom is his mom.
86, so 96, 2000.
So 2006, he must be 20.
Yeah, okay, so we're guessing now. So let's say he was, okay, so the first time I hear about Tabu Bester is about 2006. I can't remember the exact date.
Yes.
So in 2006, with my network that I explained in Blockwatch, we have, at that stage, maybe we had 30, 40,000 people that were networked together. But the people got to know about me, and so if they have a problem, they phone me. So one of my members, she phoned me. She said, Andre, I have a problem. There's this young man. He's in a car. He's driving with a lady to OR Tambo, and this lady's alone with him, and she's going to put him on an aeroplane. She bought him a ticket to fly him to Durban to go and play some cricket or rugby or something. And we suddenly realized that this young man is a scamster. He's scamming. He's not honest. And these ladies had looked after him for a couple of days prior to that. They picked him up they met him. What happened, one of the ladies was filling up a car in Ravonia, and this little gentleman came dressed in a school uniform with a whole lot of badges there, and he was very neatly dressed. And he said, "Excuse me, can you help me?" And she said, "What can I do for you?" She had children at the school nearby, and she looked at this nice young man, and she said, "What's the problem?" He says, "I'm writing my exams, and I've got to catch a taxi to Midrand, but I need some bus money. So
Yes.
he thought she was just going to give him bus money, but she said, no, get in the car, I'll take you. So she loaded him up in the car. She drove from Sandton all the way to Midrand because he said he was at school there, and she dropped him off there. But in the meantime, they started talking.
Yes.
So they exchanged telephone numbers. If you have any problems, you phone me. She was being a nice mother,
Yes.
looking after this man.
Yes.
Anyway, she left him. 2 or 3 days later, she phoned him, and then she contacted him, and then somehow he managed to get back into her house with her family, and she told her friends about this, and her friends started buying him clothes. They started buying him tickets, giving him money, taking him to restaurants, really looking after this young man. Who's a very good man because he looked like a prefect. And then they found out that he needed a ticket to fly to Durban. So they bought him a ticket under Thabo Bester. They said the name was Thabo Bester.
Okay.
Then they realized when she got into the car, one of the mothers to take him to the airport 2 days or 3 days later. So somehow she realized that this guy was a scamster. He said something or something happened. One of the ladies phoned me and said, okay, she's on the way to the airport. She's got this guy in the car. There's a problem. Can you help us? So because of my network, I said, sure. So I got hold of my members who were at the OR Tambo, the policeman there. And I said to them, there's a car that's going to arrive. The registration is this. There's a little guy inside the car, and he is a scam artist. Please help this lady. So they said, okay, when she gets to the airport, she must park the car, and she must take him through to the escalators that go upstairs. And we'll be standing at the bottom of the escalators. So her friend phoned this lady on the phone. Luckily, it wasn't a speakerphone in those days, on a handphone. And they told her, when you get there, do this. And suddenly she realized, oh, this guy is not the guy he says he is. So they get to the airport. When they go into OR Tambo, she parks the car. She goes up the escalator. As she's going up the escalators, the policemen are waiting there and they grab him. They say, what's the story? Anyway, she now goes to the charge office at the airport and says, this is the problem. And she tells him the story. Now he's a young man, first offender. She's not. All she wanted to do was to be safe. So she said, bye-bye, I'm out of here. She's gone. So she leaves there. Okay. The police obviously looked at him and said, what's your problem? And once this lady had left, they let him go. Okay. Because she never laid a charge or anything. So they said, go. Then what happened was 2 days later, now she told her friends about this guy. 2 days later, she's driving to school. And she's driving in Hyde Park School. And at the robot, she's there with her husband in the car. They see this guy standing at the robot, just going down towards the school. So the husband gets out and he starts chasing this guy. And they run down towards the school. And as they're running down towards the school, there's a teacher comes running out of the bushes and he tackles Thabo. So they land there. And this guy says, why are you attacking Thabo? He says, I'm also looking for this gentleman because he's been scamming some other mothers here at the school. And we've been watching him for a couple of days, so they caught him. So then they took him straight to the headmaster's office, and they sat down in the boardroom. So they phoned me, and they said because I was involved 2 days prior to that, so I came through, and I sat down in the office with him for about 2 or 3 hours. We sat there waiting for the police to arrive because now they're going to lock him up. Anyway, they talk, and it comes to this story about his grandmother, all the stories that you hear today. His problem and poor, and his mother died, and his granny brought him up, and all this kind of stuff. So I get tired now. This is a little boy. He's a little con artist. I'm out of this. So I say everybody goodbye. So I leave. Anyway, they let him go again. So that's twice they caught him in 2 days. They let him go. So that is now in 2006. So now you can park 2006 and we go 2007, 2008,
2010.
2010. So around about 2010, they arrest this boy. He's now the Facebook rapist. Okay. I had nothing to do with that arrest. Okay. So
Okay.
a policeman phones me and he said, "Do you know that guy that you locked up that you had arrested in 2006, and you let him go twice? He's now raped and killed a person. He's now the Facebook rapist." So they put him in jail, and I go to the mothers that I helped, and I said to them, "Do you know that little guy that was in your house, whose name Abu Besta, he's the Facebook rapist?" And the mother said, "Oh my God, how lucky were we?" Anyway, so we happy. He's arrested. He's in jail. That's it. Finished. Over. We
Yes.
forget about him.
That's
Now we
2010.
go.
Yes.
Yeah, now 2010. 2011, there's
Yes.
another rapist, and he's a mixed rapist. So
Okay.
I help track the mixed rapist down here. And this guy was he was going from bed and breakfast to bed and breakfast, and he was coming up from Cape Town. I think he started in Paarl, then he went to Hermanus, then he came up the coast, and then he eventually got to, I think it was PE. When he was in PE, I knew he was at a bed and breakfast because I network of bed and breakfast. So I sent them all a message to say, "Watch out for this guy." So he arrived there. So the woman phoned me who owned the bed and breakfast, said, "That guy you're looking for, he's just booked in here." So I got hold of the journalist, Sandra Cowan from PE. She worked for SABC, Sandy Cowan. And I said to her, "There's a person we want to arrest. He's the mixed rapist. Get the police and get your camera crew." And they went and arrested him. You can see there's a video on YouTube of the arrest of the mixed rapist.
You
And so
have the YouTube. You have the YouTube channel as well.
Yeah, it's somewhere there. It's somewhere on YouTube. If you type in mixed rapist,
Okay,
you will
I'll
see them.
check.
You will see them arresting this guy, the mixed rapist.
All right.
So they got him live, going to the car and put him in. They also interviewed me as well because this was quite a bad guy, but he was not
So
mixed.
he was more of a copycat to Tabo
He
Besta.
was a copycat of the mixed rapist.
Okay.
So now I'm linked to in 2006 to the Facebook rapist.
Yes.
Then I'm linked in 2011 to the mixed rapist. So, but when they said he's a copycat of the Facebook rapist, so if you Google that, you can actually pick up my name with Facebook rapist. So
yes.
I'm telling you this for a reason, because later on that becomes important in the story.
Okay.
So now that's 2011. So we all move on with our lives. Everything is fine. The mixed rapist, Tabu, gets 25 years in jail, I think. And we go on. Nothing happens from 2011 to somewhere around there. So now we go to
November 2021.
Yeah. So now I've heard nothing about this guy. I just know that he's in jail.
Yes.
2021 January, I get 2021 November. I still don't know anything about him. 2021 December, I still don't know anything about it. January 2022, that is last year, January, I get a phone call from a lady. Actually spoke to this
Wait a bit. You gave me a date of November 2021. It must have been for a reason.
Yeah, we're going to go back to that. So I want you to go past that one. So now we get to January 2022.
Yes.
Okay. In January 2022, I get a phone call. And this lady phones me. She is a very clever lady. She is, I'm going to say that she's an attorney. She's a lawyer. I get a phone call from her. She tells me that the mixed rapist is stalking her. I said, no.
Facebook rapist.
Yeah, I said, you're crazy.
No,
you're crazy.
Facebook or the mixed?
The mixed rapist jail. Never hear from him again. The Facebook rapist. She said to me in January 2022, last year, January, I get the phone call from her to tell me that the mixed rapist is stalking her. And I said, no, can't be. He's in jail. We all know he's in jail. How can he be out of jail? She says, well, she Googled him. And she Googled the Facebook rapist. And she saw my name there. She wants to know if I know anything or I can help her. So I said, tell me a little bit more. So she starts talking. So she says certain things that I remember. So I said, wait, I'll come and visit you. I come to your office. So I go to her
Yes.
office and I sit in her office and she says to me, yeah, this is why I think this man is a Facebook rapist. And she gives me the reasons. Okay. So
Yes.
I can't give you the reasons because I'm
Yes.
trying to protect her still.
Okay,
Okay. I don't want to
fine.
give her a name.
Yes.
So
Yes.
but she tells me these are the reasons. So I say, okay,
Yes.
let me go look at it. So I go home and I start Googling the
Mm.
Facebook rapist.
Yes.
And then I see my name comes up. And then there's another
Yes.
name that comes up. And the name is of a woman that was also involved with her in the news back in 2011. So I pick up the information and I say, okay, let me phone this woman. So I try and find her number and I phone her. I get through to her. When she answers the phone, I say, hi, I'm Andre. She says, I know you, Andre. Your number's in my phone. I was waiting for you to phone me. I said, why are you waiting for me to phone you?
Yes.
She says, because Thabo Bester was here in November. That was 2021 November. Okay?
What? She says
that's a number.
he was there
He was there. And she
in
knows him
person.
because she brought him up. She looked after him, the family, that he was used to as a little guy where his granny worked. He used to walk around in the houses there at this place where she worked. It was like a complex, not a complex, it was a bigger place, an establishment. And he was there. He used to run around and do things. And
Yes.
she knows him. She knows him because he was there for a couple of years.
Yes.
And then he started stealing there, and then they chased him away from that when he was a little kid.
Okay.
So he came back, and I said, you know, he's in jail. She said, yes, but he must be on parole. He must have got out on parole. So now I know
that's what she's thinking.
the rapist is out.
Yes.
Because she told me that he was out in November 2021.
Okay.
The other lawyer that phoned me was in 2022 in January, and then I phoned the woman that I met 10 years later, and she says, yes, she confirmed that he was out, but now I knew it was a Facebook rapist because this lady is telling me that she's being stalked, and the people that know him said he was there 2 months prior to that. So I said, oh, there's a problem here. This guy's sick. So I think, am I seeing things? Am I crazy?
Am I hearing things?
Am I hearing things? This cannot be right. But something tells me that this woman told me she knows him. He was out. This lawyer phones me, says he's out. There must be something to this. So I get a whole lot of information that I know through this lawyer and whatever, that there's a house in Houghton, and I get the address for the house. I drive down to the house and I park at the gate. Hyde Park, number 22A, Hyde Park, 2nd Road, whatever it is. I go and park there, and now I know all the security companies because that's my business.
Yes.
And I look, and there's a security guard standing there, and he's dressed in black. So I look at him and I say, are you a security guard? He says, yes. I said, who lives here? He says, TK. I said, okay.
And you know,
now, I know him as Thabo Bester.
Okay.
Don't know him as TK. So I think TK lives here. Can it be Thabo? Is it not Thabo? That's now a year and a bit ago. So I think now, why is it TK? I thought TK was a rap singer or somebody. Thought he was the name. I said, what car does he drive? He says he drives a white Porsche. Oh. Now I'm thinking this guy can't be just out of jail, and he's now driving a white Porsche. He's living in Hyde Park. Have I got this wrong? So I take some pictures of the gate, and the security guard just stands there. So I go back to the lawyer, and I go and sit with the lawyer. So I think, no, there's more to this. And I start working, start thinking. You know, you start thinking. And then eventually I said to myself, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my old trick. So I go and I phone Debbie. You know, Debbie from Carte Blanche. I don't know if you ever watched Carte Blanche.
Yes,
There's a
Debbie.
beautiful lady, Debbie from Carte Blanche. She's got a show called Debbie now on ENCA. She does a TV show. It's an investigation.
Not Deborah
She worked
Patter.
for Carte Blanche. No, not Deborah Patter. Her name.
Oh, I don't know her. Okay, no.
So,
but I know Carte
anyway,
Blanche.
Yeah. Okay. She used to work at Carte Blanche. She's now got the same show.
Oh.
She does it at ENCA. Okay.
Okay.
So I phoned her and I said, and I work with her. I said, there's a strange story here. The Facebook rapist is somewhere doing something we need to find out more about.
Okay.
So her producer comes to me with me, and we go and sit with this lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to sit down, and she takes notes. Now we're creating a story for TV. We're trying to find out exactly what the story is. So we jot down all the details that we know, and it's always good to get the investigative journalists out because that's what they do all day. They're like detectives. They got all the data. They got all the connections to phone the right people. Yeah. So we start building up a profile on this TK guy, and then we suddenly get a phone call from a private detective. And in this, somehow the story goes that this TK was going into business with a doctor. Okay. And we thought that TK was actually scamming a doctor of money. So we thought maybe we should contact the doctor, tell the doctor that this guy that he's going to do business with is not good. So they contact the doctor, the Debbie's the TV show guys contact the doctor and say they want to do an interview because they think there's something here, and she just plays stupid and whatever. Not
the very same doctor that. Yeah, the very same doctor that we.
The very same doctor. Now we think that she's been scammed. Okay.
Yes.
But we didn't know that she's in with him.
Yes.
So we phone her and we tell her that we think we need to warn her that there's something going on. We don't tell her what, but we think something's going on. This is in January last 2022. January. So we wait, and the doctor says yes, she'll give us an interview and this, and she plays along. Now, but she's a celebrity doctor. She got lots of fans on Instagram.
Yes.
And so she's going to give us an interview, like we're giving an interview here, but she's going to go to ENCA.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden we get a phone call from a man who says he's a private investigator. He's been sent by the doctor to come and talk to us. So we think, okay, interesting. So I said to the ladies there, I said, I think I better come with and check this guy out because I don't know what's going on here. I didn't want them to get into trouble. Anyway, to cut a long story short, the PI comes and he sits there and he, just before at the studios at the ENCA, just before we're going to do the interview, he says he's just got a phone call, he mustn't do the interview, and he leaves. So I think that's very strange. Now we're sitting there, we think, okay, what's happened? We don't know. Things have gone dead. Everything's quiet. Now we've got a little WhatsApp group. We've got a little WhatsApp group with the lawyer, we've got with Debbie, and with myself, and a couple of other people from Fidelity Security, just in case there's trouble, so we can call on them, because I work with Fidelity Security, and I work with their top teams. If there's trouble, I call them in to help us. So we wait. Now this is what could it be? It must be February sometime. February, March sometime. But it goes dead. There's nothing more. It's quiet.
Yes.
We can't find anybody, nobody. The story doesn't go on. It stops. There's no more stories whatsoever. So we leave it, but we're still in the same WhatsApp group. So time moves on. So now it comes along to May the 1st. I think it was May the 1st. The newspaper puts a new article out that the Facebook rapist died in prison.
Yeah,
It was May the 1st. What day was that? May.
The third, it was the 3rd of May.
3rd of May. And
Yes.
so it's now, because my birthday is on the 30th of April, so it was 3 days after my birthday.
Yes.
3rd of May, this lawyer puts in a little message that says, have you seen the newspaper? The Facebook rapist is dead.
Yes.
We think, thank goodness, he's in jail. But in the meantime, prior to that, I forgot to tell you that we found the parole board. In January, we were phoning the parole board. We were trying to find out. The parole board didn't have his ID number. They said no. They gave a wrong, different ID, and it all makes sense now because he took somebody else's ID as well.
Yeah, he does not have his own. Yes.
Yeah, so there was another type of bester that was also in jail. And then the parole board started getting mixed up between that type of bester and the one we were looking for. Okay. And they said he was on parole, but he was only locked up for 6 months. So it was very confusing, the whole thing. And then the security guard told me that TK lived there. And I said, no, but who's TK? And then we realized, because when he was doing work with his lawyer, his name was Thabo Katleho Bester. TK. That's where the name TK came from. So now I realized we are right, because that man, his house is TK. He's registered in that. The security guard says it's TK. The contract that he's doing is Thabo Katleho. But in the meantime, this lady has now spoken to Katleho quite a few times to put this deal together, because he was putting some kind of deal together, and his lawyer was meant to be doing the contract or whatever. Then we find he's dead. We think, he's dead. Everything's cool. Game over. We can all go back to our lives. That was on the 2nd of May, I think it was. What day did you say it was? The 2nd of May? 2nd or 3rd of May?
The 3rd. It was the 3rd of May.
7 days later, 7 days after that, this lady gets a phone call from Thabo. And
the lady lawyer.
The lady that phoned me had a problem. Gets a phone call, but now he doesn't know that she knows he's a Facebook rapist. She never knew that all along, because she just told us we were doing our investigation, but we can't say that he's out or in because we're trying to work it out. But then he phones her, and he's talking to her on the phone, and he's checking her up a little bit here, and he goes, so we've got the recordings. And then he dies. A week later, he phones her again. And now we're saying, how can this guy be dead when he's still making phone calls? We realized this man scammed everybody. He did something. He faked his death. Within 7 days, we knew it. We tried this way. We tried that way. We couldn't get any stories. We couldn't. It just wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. Then, now that is now in May last year. So we go June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Nothing happened. We can't find anything about this guy. We think maybe we've gone crazy again. In January this year, I'm walking.
This year, 2023.
Now we're 2023. In January this year, my phone is in my pocket, and it's an iPhone, and it dials a number. And it dials through to Graham Hoskins. And Graham Hoskins is one of my journalist friends, and he works at the Star newspaper, at the Sunday Times. He said, did you phone me? I said, no, I never phoned you. Maybe it was a pocket dial. So he said, have you got any good stories for me? So I said, yeah, I think there's one. It's a Facebook rapist. He said, no, Facebook rapist is dead. I said, no, he's not dead. He's alive. So he catches the Gau train, he comes to Johannesburg, and we sit there the morning, we talk, and he writes. He says, this is the biggest story he's ever had since for 26 years at the Sunday Times. This is the biggest story. So he says, and he writes, he says, I'm going on leave for 2 weeks. When I come back, we're going to break the news. So I said, okay, go and leave and come back, because once you break this news, it's going to get very busy for you. So in that time, in that period, I go to the magistrate's court in Randburg. And
Yes.
you know that I was involved with chasing the arsonist. There was a guy that was burning houses
Yes.
in Johannesburg.
Ex-repo.
Yeah, that guy that burnt 20 houses. Alfred is his name. Anyway.
20 houses? No, I don't know that.
Go and check it out. So for the whole of that year, last year,
Okay.
the year before, I was chasing the arsonist for 2 years. I chased him. We caught him, but we put him in jail. But now his court case is coming up. So
Okay.
I go to the investigating officer
Okay.
at the magistrate, and I said, because I needed to talk to him and show him stuff about this arsonist for his case. And I say to the policeman there, I said, you know, when we finish with this case, we're going to go and find the Facebook rapist. He says, huh? I said, yeah, the Facebook rapist, he's not dead. He's alive. And he thinks this Mlungu is mad. This guy.
This old man is losing marbles.
So I said, no. I said, no, I've even got his telephone number. He said, no. So he leaves me. He leaves me.
Yes.
I tell him. But I told him on purpose because I wanted it to be known that I told the police.
Yes.
Because I didn't want to go along there and say, I have this information and I didn't give it to somebody.
Yes.
So I went there to give it to somebody. And I gave it to the journalist. For a year we've been working with a journalist. And I gave it to another journalist.
Yes.
And then I gave it to the police. So that my conscience is clear because now we're doing something about this thing. Anyway, while we are away, that picture comes in the newspaper of him, Thabo Bester, in the south.
Yes.
So the time between where Graham was going on holiday to the time he got back, when he got back, it was in the media. Yes. Now everybody said, so Roundup was given this information by the judge. Ian Cameron, who's a judge.
They spanking Judge Cameron,
Yeah, because when they did the test on the body, they found that the body never had any smoke in its lungs.
Yes.
So they said this man never died.
And that was suspicious on its own.
That was suspicious on its own. But at that stage, we were already working with this guy for 6 months. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October maybe. I don't know when the pathologist came out with the results. But let's say it's 8 months, 10 months. We were working on this guy already. And we knew he was out. And now we're about to go and put it in the newspaper. But just very good. The investigative journalists are fantastic. They put the picture up. That we now had all the information already. And that's when the Sunday Times came and put their story out. So when the Roundup put their story out, then we put the one of the Sunday Times, everything opened up. The media created a media frenzy. Then everybody started giving information because now
that's how we all got to know now.
That's how the information came out. You know, if Roundup if they let out the information, let's say Roundup never let out the information would have come out a week later when the newspaper and the Sunday Times, because they had the whole story. So Roundup broke the story, which is good. We had the facts as well, which there was a team and the 2 investigative journalists and all the other journalists got involved. And they just left, as the police say, no stone unturned. So that's what happened. And then for me, I don't do anything more now. That's my job over.
You've done your job. Like it's just fascinating. It's very, very fascinating that a person can pull up such a stunt in our country. But I think you have answered. No, he is very clever. I think if he had used his wisdom in constructive ways, he would be far in life anyway.
Cyril wouldn't have a job. He'd be our president. He's so clever. He's a dynamic person. He could have been anything.
He could have been anything. It's just that
I think he's got problems. I think there are other parts of the story which I know, which I don't want to let out now. I think that he had a problem with some men when he was young. I think that's part of a story that's going to come out
Yes.
still, because watch this space, because what's happened now, the journalists are all looking for news now, so now they're going to scratch around into his past, and they're going to find out, why did this man become like this? And yes, there are reasons why he became like that. Yes, it's not that he's allowed to be this person, but the reason why he was like that is because it was something that happened to him in his childhood, and I've been told about it, and I'm not going to let it out because I don't know how true it is, and it might not be true. But if that did happen to him, I understand the hatred he's got inside him. I understand a lot of stuff. So let that one come at its own time. I'm sure they'll get there, because the people are going to do movies, they're going to do books, they're going to write about this guy for many, many years. Everybody's going to remember Thabo Bester. And I think that the other good positive that's going to come out, the prisons are bad, but the way that the wardens are running the prison, they're running it like a business, not because they get paid salaries. They run it because they get money from the prisoners. The prisoners bribe the wardens, not only to get out, they bribe them for cell phones, they bribe them
for everything,
for food, they bribe them for drugs, they bribe them for all sorts of things. So in the prisons itself, there's a whole system that is run by the money that the wardens get from the prisoners. To get benefits, the prisoners pay the wardens. And the way that they pay these wardens is simple. If they got a phone and they're sitting in the cell with a phone, the warden knows he's got a phone. But then the warden says, I'm going to take your phone away. You don't get the people to send me my monthly money by e-wallet.
Yes, allowance.
The money goes e-wallet. The wardens make money out of that. You see. If they take the phone away from the guy, they don't make any money. And all the other privileges. So this thing with Thabo pushed it to the extreme. Thabo was in and out of jail all the time. He didn't have. They talk about the day he escaped on July. When was it?
He was already out by then. And you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking he was active in the planning. He was the one that was doing all that. He just went to prison to die. That's it. He enjoyed all the freedom.
He had to go to prison, back to prison to die, because if he didn't, he would never have been free. Because if they didn't see him in prison, and the other prisoners said that he was there, and then that he's dead now, then they can say that's him. If they didn't see him before, they would have said he escaped some other time, and then he wouldn't have been free. So he had to go back to prison to show everybody he's there, and then die, and then they would never look for him. That was the game plan, and they planned it. If you look at that little bit that I found in the garden, you remember I got this thing, the hotel invoice. It said they were there in I think it was April or sometime when he died, or tried to. He was there at the same time as that little guy that's been murdered now. They were there in Bloemfontein the same time as that. Because if you look at the date of the invoice, where they stayed in the hotel,
it correlates with the time when he may have been
when he went missing.
Murdered.
When he went missing. So that was the same time then. Although that was, I don't know, maybe I don't know where they kept the body, but the body did say that there was some deterioration. I'm not so sure. But
I did see the post-mortem report indicates that there was already
decay
and
kidneys.
Supposedly it was too early for the decomposition to be there, because if he had died on the 3rd, the doctor that did the post-mortem did it on the 4th. So it was not supposed to be showing that decomposition, but already there was decomposition that was present.
Exactly.
And the doctor also indicated that the body was indicating that it had been kept in the fridge because it looked like it was frozen. It may have been frozen before it was burnt.
I think that makes sense, because how do they keep the body for that time? So
they must have kept it. Andre, thank you so much for your time. You seem to have answered almost all the questions that people had sent that they wanted to know, because some of the things. Let me see. Someone says if he can confirm that it is true that TK had a pass for going in and out of maximum prison, either all these years, is according to findings or maybe prior to the escape, maybe just prior
Yeah.
to the escape.
Well,
So what do you think? Do you think maybe all along he had in and out,
yeah.
or maybe just 2021, 2022?
No. Think about this. If you're going to escape and you're going to such an elaborate plan, you're bringing a body into the prison, and let's say it never worked. Now, the next morning, the wardens come along and they find a dead body in your cell. They say, "What's a dead body doing in your cell?"
Yeah.
No, I don't know how it got you. So they planned this thing so many times. So many people had to help them come in and out. The cameras had to be moved. This had to be moved.
Yeah.
So he had a lot of money, by the way. Now, you haven't asked how he got his money. This is the interest. How do you think he got his money to pay these people? Where do you think the money came from?
I don't know, because we are speculating. Ne? We are not sure about anything. Number one, it's clear that he is scamming people. That one is clear. Apparently, he has Arum Properties, and then he.
What was that? What did they do there?
Aram Properties is like his property company business, which he makes people buy like houses off plan, and then they pay certain amounts, and then the houses never get to be built.
Okay, so that house there in Hyde Park, okay? The house in Hyde Park they rented. They paid a year in advance. Okay? So she was going to open a clinic. She was a doctor for skin or whatever she was.
No.
Medical.
Let me just disturb you a bit there. Tell me, was she going to convert the very house that they were in, or the house next door as well?
The house they were in.
Oh.
So in the house that they were in, when they said to the people that were renting it, they said they want to change this, they wanted to do this and do that. The guy said, "You paid a year in advance." Yeah, sure. They said they're going to build another kitchen here, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. So they broke down a wall in the garden and they changed the entrance. They changed the gate at the front gate. They changed the house on the inside, but they never finished. They just broke down parts of the house and they just destroyed. They caused so much damage there. Then they got people in there to come and say, "We are building this place. This is what we're building. We're building our clinic." The property wasn't even theirs, okay? They were renting it and they broke a house down. And then they got people in.
How can you rent a house and make renovations to the house that is not yours?
Because the owner said, "Yeah, this is what they're going to do. That's fantastic. They're going to do all of this for nothing. Oh, why not? Let them build this beautiful thing." That's what they said they're going to do. But they were doing that to break it down so it looked like a house under construction. Then they got people in to come and invest in their business to this clinic. So the next part of the story is going to be, who gave them money to invest in their clinic? Because those people gave them money to invest in the clinic. They're the people that lost the money. And the money that these guys were spending was the investors' money. So there are some investors that are not going to be very happy with him. Because the investors have lost money, but they keep him very quiet. Why are the investors keeping quiet?
That's the part I don't understand. Why are they not saying, "I lost so many millions, I invested so many millions," and then what? They are all quiet. Why? Like there is something fishy there.
You must remember that. Write it down. They're all quiet. Why? That is the question. Why? Because I don't want to say, because I don't know. The question is, why are the people that invested money keeping quiet? But the problem for Thabo, there's a problem now for Thabo. He took their money and he paid the warden to get them out of prison. So he bribed the wardens, and there are a lot more wardens that were involved. But I think 2 have been arrested or 3, but there must be more. So now Thabo's back in jail. So he's in a cell now. The people that want to come and catch him are the wardens. They know where he is. The people that he took their money, they know where he is. The people that took his money, remember that media show that he had that was so big and when he launched that media company, he had all the top people from his community there. He must have got them involved into buying into this clinic. So they must have used the money. They were politically connected. They're high society in South Africa.
Yes.
Those are the people that he took money from, I think. I don't know. I got no idea.
Yeah,
We'll
we
wait to see.
don't know.
I've got no
We are
idea.
not sure. We are speculating here.
So
And then
they're
another
people.
thing,
People after him.
that
He's going to
bothers
have a trouble in jail.
another thing that bothers me about him is that he seems to have been inviting influencers, but these have to be only female influencers. He would invite them under the pretense of he has some property Netflix show that's upcoming, and then he needed the people that will be the face of that property show on Netflix. And he would invite them. Many, let's say, we don't know how many. That's number one. Number two, the ones that are talking are the ones that did go, and then he showed them the houses outside, like pointing, that's our own properties, those are my properties. He never got inside with them to say, this is my property, this is the kitchen, this is how what looks like, you know. So the question is, why the females, number one, and those that did take the bait, where are they? Because he also promised them traveling the world, because he said he's got other properties in other countries. So they would go and stay there for plus minus a month per each house, and then they give reviews after. Where are they? Where are those girls?
Okay. So I tell you what the reason is, he's a very glamorous guy. He liked the big show, so that's why I got the influencers. The pictures that he saw that he advertised the properties, they're all stolen from the internet. Just pictures. They're not houses. They're pictures. If you go and have a look at the brochure of Aram Properties, those brochures, if you take out the pictures and you Google those
they're
pictures,
coming from Pinterest.
you will see that they come from all over the world. So there's no property like it. So he just made a pamphlet of these are my home. This is what we're doing.
You just remind me of something, Andre. Now, after the police have done their work, did you go back there? Because I think I saw a video where you are in the security place, where you show the TK security jacket, and some in a box.
TK,
yeah.
So
did you go there after?
I went after, just the other day. It was 3 weeks ago. The police had come and gone. The house was locked up. There was nobody there. There was some man walking around who's like doing something in the property. And we asked him if we can come and look. And he said, yes, we can come and look. And he showed us around. And he showed us in the guard room. He said the police never went to the guard room. He said, there's, and I looked. And the lady who was with me said, look, the badge says TK. And then Tabo Klante. So that was TK. And so he bought property. All of his stuff was shown. It was just, there's my security company. So you'd be with these influencers, whoever, they say, that's my security company. This is the house we're building. Do you want to invest in this house? Here, come and have a look at the house. We're halfway through building it because it was all broken down. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to do this. Meanwhile, he'd just broken down the house that he was renting.
Sure.
Anyway.
I see.
Okay. I've got to go, unfortunately. But I thank you very much.
No,
wonderful.
I'm the one that's thanking you. Thank you so much, Andre, for this interview.
You keep up the good
I
work.
think the people will leave the questions in the comment section. You'll answer where you answer at the convenience of your own time. Yes.
Wonderful.
I see somebody's asking me, how did I get involved? No, I'm just interested, just emotionally interested and invested in this story. That's all. I'm not involved. Thank you. Thank you, Andre. Thank you for your time. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.